Are the
What was that motion that you did?
I'm saying keep it going.
Keep it
so
going.
yeah, what he's doing is he's got a protein drink. And he's shaking his
the protein drink.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
Cue and stew. And 3, 2, 1, action.
What are we doing? Welcome to the Stu and Mike Show. I'm Stuart Sinclair. Today's topic is what's today's? Hold on. And this is my friend Mike Samra from getsold.ca. What is our topic today?
We're talking about myths. Bruno wants to talk to us about myths.
So is that okay? That introduction?
It's great.
Perfect. Okay, so myths in real estate. What are some of the myths in real estate? Michael Samra?
So Bruno was mentioning some of the myths of selling in springtime is better.
It's going to be hard to keep saying myths.
Myths.
So, yeah, spring and fall are the best. I can't even speak now. They're the best. They're the best times to sell your house.
So they're not necessarily. Are they the best time? Are they?
Now I got you. Sorry, let me take these marbles out of my mouth, toss them aside.
Are they the best times to sell a house?
You know when the best time to sell a house is? When there's no other homes for sale.
Fair enough. And that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so spring and fall have historically, big word, been a good time to sell your home.
Okay, so good time versus are you getting more money? No, are you? It's not true, is it?
You can
analyze
this is
it the
a
way you
huge rabbit hole to hop down.
100%. I don't feel you get more money in spring or fall.
No.
You may get more attention. Your house may show nicer, show better.
Gardens, stuff,
pools, all that other stuff.
Snow. For my friends in California, there's lots of fucking snow. Just look out there.
But necessarily, does that equate to a higher price? I don't believe so.
No, I agree with you.
And then when you really think of it and you look at it, okay, well, if everybody else is listing in springtime, there's a surge of listings.
More competition.
Much more competition.
So this is a complete circle. So it goes back to what I said. Sell when no one else is.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's a good myth that we just debunked. What would be another one?
Social media trends for real estate. So
I've always wanted to do what people aren't doing.
I know, but it's hard. It's getting
But
harder.
Is that a myth? Is it a myth that people are having your mentality, or are they following everyone like sheep?
Well, you see it. There's a lot of sheep right now, right? So
Because nobody else is coming out with. So Matt Leonetti, you follow Matt Leonetti? Matt Leonetti is with the agency. He does all these. Funny guy, does all these like little skits of first-time home buyers. And he does like music videos.
Nice.
Yeah, you've never seen him. Oh shit, you gotta follow him.
okay, I will then.
Yeah, follow him.
I think you should do it right now.
Plug. Yeah.
No, but he does something different. I mean, the fact of the matter is that people, as agents, we hire a media company, a photo company to come in and do our photos and video. And then most of the time, we're probably not prepared on what we want to do for the actual video. So the guy says, "Oh, I've been doing this. Come here, wave us in, go through room by room, and we'll do the whole reel and stuff like that." I think it's only once you actually really prepare for what you want to do and you can relay that to your social media person. Yeah.
I do follow him.
Yeah. He's a hilarious guy.
Never watched it, I don't think.
He's a funny guy. So
I will start.
So he does different stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the easiest thing to do is to follow, replicate what industry is doing.
So that's don't reinvent the wheel.
Yes, but you also need to be innovative to a certain degree. So you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. So you're going to do a virtual tour or a video reel of a property.
Yeah.
You can do a video reel, just try to do something different. That's why I'm always trying to think of how you've done. You're pretty good at that stuff.
I try.
And you do. And a couple of them were like really box office hits for you.
Now, is it a myth to have your home staged? Does it sell? According to a lot of realtors, they say staging a home gives you better odds of selling it for a higher price. Is that a myth or not?
So I stage my homes, or at least I get them consulted, and I get something done to them.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I price it properly.
Yeah.
And I think
it's hard to say because you can't really say, well, we can't sell the same product back to back and say, well, this one sold, this one didn't. We're not in a vacuum where we can do the exact same thing.
Well, what I'm saying is most realtors that I personally know say that if you don't stage a home,
yeah,
you're almost guaranteed to get less than what you could get if you stage it properly. So is that a myth or not?
So right now, shit boxes are selling whether they're staged or not. So
Well,
it doesn't really matter.
Let's say that the pandemic wasn't.
Yeah,
Let's
so
say that all of this.
A staged home becomes more appealing to more of the masses.
Yeah.
That's what it necessarily does. A staged home becomes more appealing, neutral colors, decor is a little bit more neutral, where people walk in there and they say, "Oh wow, this is the
People are visual,
beautiful home."
100%. Yeah.
100%. So does that equate into more money, or does that equate into more attractiveness? So if we're in a balanced market where we have offers and we're negotiating a price back and forth.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Well, yeah.
Negotiate?
Yeah, under asking
Now
price.
it's like just throw shit against the wall.
That's it.
Hopefully it sticks.
That's it.
When I first got into the business, I wanted to buy a Porsche Cayenne, I think it was, or a Hummer.
Oh wow.
And I was younger, like it was, I was a young punk, probably like at that time I would have sold my Corvette. So I was probably 30-ish, somewhere around there. And I remember sitting with my dad and his buddies in the garage after tennis having beer, and we were talking about this. We were talking about how realtors portray themselves, and you see it here. And we're, right now we're in Kleinburg, and Kleinburg is a very high-end market. And cars are probably pretty important. Like if you show up in a
Camry.
Yeah, Toyota Camry, 1980s. How about a 2004 Honda Accord plug Mike Sinclair?
Now wait a second. Now we're jumping to two different things.
No, hold on a second. So if I was to show up in a 2004 Honda Accord, or if I was to show up in a Porsche Cayenne, say, the person that I'm going to see is going to, even if they don't notice it, they're going to work with the Porsche car.
And
Cayenne
if I
guys.
say to you, all right, you're driving a 2022 Ford Explorer, or you're driving a 2022 Kia Sorento,
Mm-hmm.
now what do you say?
Well, it's fucking burnt orange, so I'd go for the Explorer. Brutal drives a burnt orange Sorento. So Mike Ferry, actually, I was at a Mike Ferry thing one
He's
time.
He's huge on that stuff.
So the best thing he did was make two people in the audience stand up. One guy decked out in the suit. Other guy looked like me. No idea who they are as realtors, don't know what their volume is, don't know what they do for you. And he asked the audience, who would you use? Would you use the guy in the suit, or would you use the guy in the hoodie, the lucky hoodie? And everybody's like, I use the guy in the suit. Mind you, it was Mike Ferry thing, so probably everybody but me was wearing a suit.
Exactly. They all wear suits.
But there is that thing, right? Like you want to show that you're successful. But I've also had it the other way that, people say, well,
you make too much money. Look, you
Yeah.
have a fancy car. I'm not paying you all that money.
So
Yeah.
what's the
does
conclusion
happen.
then? Is it a myth? Do realtors buy expensive vehicles to portray themselves as better realtors? Or
There's a ton of agents out there that aren't making money that are rolling
They're
in.
definitely
They're rolling in some pretty fancy
100%.
cars.
They're leasing cars. They're doing all that stuff. They're dressing the part.
Yeah.
Dress the part.
so why don't you say what you said to me, Mike, about
Yeah,
the
Mike.
vehicle?
Why don't you say that?
About my.
Well, when I told
So I
Mike
wanted to
was
buy-
gonna buy a 2022. I bought a 2022 Hyundai Elantra,
Nice.
and he then told me. I said, Mike, why don't you buy like a Kia, for example? And he said, no, that wouldn't translate well as a realtor because I need something with a bit more like oomph.
So I when I was looking for a car a couple of years ago, got in an accident, had rode off, had to look for a car. You know how hard that was?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to buy the Range Rover. I wanted to buy all that other stuff. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to pay for this Supreme gas. I don't want to pay this price tag. So, but I want to show success to a certain degree. But I can't buy it. I would love to buy a 92 Honda Prelude. Like that would be fine for me. But I can't drive that either. So it's like I need to find something in the middle of the road. And I've encountered people where I've gone to listing appointments and I may be in a little bit of a different market.
Mm-hmm.
In Etobicoke, there's old money there, not so much flashy money as up here. And they said, yeah, no, I had I drove an Explorer for the last little while now.
Fantastic vehicles.
They're fantastic.
I have one.
There you go.
Love it.
We're parked next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take a picture.
So they said, yeah, if you pulled up in a Mercedes, I wouldn't give you the listing. I'm like, oh wow, why is that? Oh, because then you make too much money, right? So there's that happy medium where I need that, and I hate saying it, I need to drive something that shows at least I'm not below or above. I'm
So-
just that middle line.
It's funny that buying for me as well, buying a new vehicle, which I seem to do every 2 years, is horrible.
I hate it.
Like the last ones, that I've had, it's different. But where I'm going with this story is I would ask people their opinion. What do you think a good vehicle is? And people do it online. You'll see it on Facebook all the time. So do you know Joe Saraceni?
Yeah.
So Joe is one of the coolest realtors that I know.
Joe
Very
Sales
laid
King.
back. Yeah, it's super laid back, does extremely well. And I remember saying to him, what would be a good vehicle for me to buy? I just saw him in the office one day. And at the time he was driving a Volvo station wagon. The guy makes great money.
Yeah.
He does very well. He works his butt off.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? I drive a Volvo. It's a Volvo station wagon. It's a nice car. It shows you're looking to be family orientated because it's a station wagon and it's safe.
Yeah.
He goes, it's not too flashy. It's not too rusty. Like it's the whole thing. And I ended up buying a Volvo XC90 because of that.
Oh, wow.
And which again isn't a super flashy vehicle at the time,
Yep.
but it was so hard.
Yep.
Like I needed to know how people are gonna look at me.
Which sucks.
It
to
totally
even
sucks.
think that.
But
To even think that.
But people do
it's
that on Instagram all the time.
100%.
And just so you know, social media and real life are not the same thing.
So someone who's looking to buy and sell their house in Mississauga lives in a neighborhood, let's say, and since we're using Sam as an example, wants to sell their house in Mississauga, sees a couple of signs from Joe Blow, researches something online, Joe Blow pops up on Google, Joe Blow pops up on some Instagram stuff, Joe Blow website pops up, now Joe Blow is their person. It really just comes down to whatever narrative you want to fulfill.
Man, I super disagree with this.
Hold on a
Super
second.
disagree
So,
with this. Completely wrong.
no. Okay, so why?
This is wrong because I know two realtors right in front of me. If I have a house in Mississauga,
Mm-hmm.
my automatic response will not be, I gotta get Sam McDaddy.
But that's you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Is it a myth that people go to the names that they recognize opposed to the realtor?
Okay,
Everybody's different. So someone who's selling in Caledon may see, again, Joe Smith in Caledon who advertises but knows Stu, then they're going to probably be more comfortable selling with Stu.
Yeah.
For whatever Stu's done to that person to solidify his name. So I could be the most popular person that has 20 signs in Caledon, but they'll still call Stu.
So then it's a myth because.
But
Okay.
it's
We'll
not.
go with Sam.
But then
So
there's
let-
some people that if I don't know Stu and I don't know anybody in real estate, which is hard to believe nowadays, I'm gonna call Joe Blow because I saw Joe Blow's flyer in my mail. I see Joe Blow's sign down the street. I see Joe Blow's office not too far from my neighborhood, and I see Joe Blow always doing community events. Then yeah, you know what? I may say, even if I do know Stu, sorry Stu, but this guy really is in our neighborhood.
He's
a lot.
visible. And sometimes even people don't want their friends knowing their shit, right?
100%.
So I can't remember exactly how it goes, but what's your favorite hamburger?
What do you mean? Like actual from which location?
Yeah. So if you say,
Big Mac is my favorite.
seriously?
Used to be. Actually,
So,
Five Guys has a great burger.
okay. So until they fucked my shit up here.
So I
So who do you think sells the most hamburgers?
McDonald's.
Okay. Do you think that's the best hamburger around?
No. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Best
That's a
hamburger,
good analogy.
Apache Burger down on
Apache on Kipling and
Apache Burger.
Fire
Actually,
Pit.
best hamburger I've ever had is in Venice, and it's called The Window. I want to plug that because it's the best bloody hamburger I've ever had in my life.
Is that a mom and pop or is that a franchise?
I think it's a little franchise, but I think it's mom and pop-ish. But so you get what I'm saying, right? So there's a lot of people, and some people want this to be an experience selling their house. If you get somebody that's super visible, you may not get that.
Like Sam McDaddy. Maybe you'll just feel like a number.
Yeah. Which they're really good to say, we're going to use our brand, Sam McDaddy brand, but it's going to be me that sells it, and I'm your Sam
Go-to.
McDaddy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, it like this is it. I think it depends on the person, and I think it really, I've been a big team before and pushed that and pushed that and pushed that, but some people want me to hold their hand.
Yep.
And when I had people working for me, it wasn't me, and they wanted that. And it was a tough thing. So it depends on the person. It depends on the agent.
Circumstances, it depends on all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, there are some people that'll get market share because of their marketing, but there's also other people that won't do that for other reasons. So myth or not myth, yeah, it's not necessarily
Okay, one last myth. Let's
one more.
One more?
Well,
Yeah,
let's
one
do
more.
one more.
Okay, so if you had to place, a lot of people say, if you're beside a mall or a something like
cemetery.
a cemetery,
Okay.
Or bus stop.
do you think that your listing is going to have more appeal if you're beside hotspots like that? And the cemetery is a hotspot.
Cemetery is a
really
hotspot?
Think about it. How many of the older generation, they want to be closer to their family members like that? I know my grandmother's like that. She actually bought her house beside a cemetery because she wanted that convenience that she can go visit her brothers and sisters and all that are buried. It's not, dude, it's true. My dad even thinks that way. So is that?
I can't comment.
Okay, let's switch it up. So let's say next to near LRT line, subway line.
stuff.
Let's say I know in my area in Etobicoke where I farm, they're building a big, huge Costco. People that live, let's say, Woodbine Center, where they're building a huge entertainment facility now.
So is it
will that increase value in your opinion? Will that decrease value?
Or
Living near a hospital, will that increase value? Will that decrease
Or
value?
will they buy a house out of their city that they're currently in just because of these new amenities that are beside a potential home that they want?
So I think off the bat, like let's use hospitals for an example.
Hospital's a big one.
Oh, it's in the hospital and close to the hospital. And I think to myself, I don't want to be anywhere close to, not that close to a hospital.
Next
You're
door.
not older yet, man. When you get older, you would want.
Yeah, but I still
Well-
I don't want to see ambulances coming by. I don't want to see the lights flashing. Like I'm happy to be in proximity to it, but I necessarily don't want to be like it's in my backyard. So that's how I view it. There's other people, like you said, their needs are. I want to be able to walk to the.
But
damn thing.
it all depends on the
individual.
people.
All that
McDonald's for my
That's
Big Mac.
That's their selling
Yeah.
feature, right?
Yeah.
So it's wow, we're right next to the subway. Look at this. This is great.
Isn't this all marketing?
It's all marketing.
Market it to the
Time
right
to
people.
wrap up.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today on the Stu and Mike Show. My name is Stuart Sinclair, and this
name
is
is
my good
Michael
friend.
Michael Samra? Sorry, I cut you off. Let's try it
No,
again.
it's okay.
Want
Okay.
to do it again?
No, it's fine.
Just do it from the top.
From the top.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us today on the Stu and Mike Show. My name is Stuart
Do
Sinclair.
you want me to say my name, or are you going to say my name for me?
And my friend here that's joining us as well is Bruno. And
Mike Samra.
have a great day.
See you guys.
Yeah, good stuff, boys.
Make sure you check out the Stu and Mike Show on all major platforms.
Like, follow, and subscribe.